Hey everyone, Miacidae here, welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. So, today on the No Hope Estate, we will be going into the Weald, where things might get a little dangerous for us just because, one, it is a long, and the last long really pushed the group to their limits. We had a lot of people hitting death doors multiple times in a row. We had multiple heart attacks, which was, honestly, I think one of the first heart attacks we had in the entire run, so if not like heart attack 2, 3, and we were having them multiple times. So we'll see what we can do here, keeping the stress slightly lower, but also, once again, Dwimmerlaik is here. However, I want to level up the Weald, and I really want this bloody stake. We have a version of this for the blighting teams, but we do not have one for bleeding teams. This ups bleeding chance, this ups bleeding duration. Also just, leveling up the Weald, getting us more crusts, which we just spent a lot of. So, with that being said, the group today is more or less another marking team, because we've been having a lot of success with those, and we have a lot of markers that actually could be leveled up. So I figured why not level them up. So for today we have Axolotl, the Foreigner. We're mainly going to be using Skewer on her today because we do not have the thing that I really like to do, to use Hunt Down. There is a trinket that disables the cooldown on Harpoon, I just don't have it. So instead we're going to be using Skewer, which does plus 50% damage versus marked, and otherwise we're going to be doing Grudge, which ups the crit received and lowers dodge. If she gets knocked back for whatever reason, we have Breach, which moves her forward, disables and breaks guard, and is an armor piercing. For her trinkets, we have the Observant Grip, which ignores stealth, which is actually a thing here, plus 11 crit versus anything marked, but if she happens to miss, we get plus 8 stress when she misses. We also have the Ancestor's Letter Opener because Skewer is only a 95 accuracy, so this will up her to about 120 accuracy, and then on attack hit, we will bleed, which a lot of the things here bleed, so that's kind of nice. Next, for our main marker, we have Corsi. Well, this is gonna get fun. So, for our mark, we have Vulnerability Hex. This also lowers dodge. After that, we have either Sacrificial Stab, which does extra damage versus Eldritch. I can't remember if I have the thing in here which turns everything in the Weald to vegetation, but otherwise, as a base, everything in the Weald usually is Eldritch. So we'll see it for that. My memory is foggy right now. Not gonna get into it, but really foggy memory. So this might come into play, this might not come into play, but otherwise we just have Sacrificial Stab as a damager. We have Demons pull things towards us, clearing corpses, which if I really want to get rid of something in the first few rows, we have the ability to just pull them forward, and then we can increase lowering damage and protection on stuff. Now for the fun bit. We got a fun little trinket last time that upped the damage something takes. That is the Missionary Sensor. So this minuses the speed on Corsi, or whatever it's on, but on attack hit, which is any attack, just not a range attack, not a melee attack, any attack hit, debuff the target for plus damage received. So they take plus 10% damage. The stun isn't going to be a thing, but they take plus 10% more damage just because Corsi has this. So when I mark them, not only do they get minus 17 dodge, but plus 10% more damage. But then we have the Cursed Incense, which is plus debuff chance, so this is now a 170 debuff chance on the plus damage received, but this also has plus 15% damage received, so when I mark them, they're going to have a plus 25% damage received, potentially, because this one is only a 140 instead of a 170, but they have 2 instances of plus damage received, then minus dodge, and marked, before they get hit for plus damage received versus marked. Do you see the shenanigans happening here? And then we have Silent, the Musketeer, who also does damage versus marked and also crit versus marked. We have Buckshot for an AoE, Piercing Round to do armor piercing and plus more damage, and then Bolden if I want to clear stun and up whoever's speed. She has the Ancestor's Candle for plus damage and plus dodge if torch is above 50, and the Archer's Bracer just to up her damage. If I use this on Buckshot, that's all 3 targets damage plus. And finally we have Espec, the Half-Foot. So This is another marker that can bypass stealth. When he marks, he ups the crits and damage received. Then after he does marks, we can do Jugular Shot, which has a plus bleeded chance and blight amount versus mark. So instead of doing a 1 bleed, it's going to be doing like a 3 bleed, I think. And then it has a higher bleed chance. If he gets moved out of rank 4, we can do Blinding Knife to move back. And then if anyone gets stunned, or if I just want to plus damage, we can do Guide Attack, which pluses damage, accuracy, and crit, and allows them to ignore stealth. Then for his trinkets, we have his Sunward Trinket that I can't pronounce. This allows him to essentially do what he does with Bleed with Jugular Shot on any attack with Blight. However, against humans, he will not really bleed or blight. So on range attack hits, he has a 70% chance to do a 2 for 3 blight. However, when they're marked, he has a higher chance of blight, plus 60% chance, upping it to 130, and does plus 200%. So I think that goes to like 6 blight. And we have the Bicorn's Horn, so he has plus debuff chance and lowers bleed and blight resistance. So this is going to be fun. We'll see what happens. So with that being said, let's go get my bloody steak. Bringing all the food I can, bringing max stack of shovels, anti-venom bandages, medicinal herbs, because I'm not screwing around here. And then we'll be off.
Corruption has soaked the soil.
Alright, so it's 100% of room battles again. We're going to go to the left. I'm going to really quick stack the food up since we can do that due to one of my mods. And then all of the searching should be done with Espec, however I'll do that on the way back, just so I don't get hunger checks right away. Skewer going at Maggot.
Another one falls.
Mark weak point on the ectoplasm. Didn't think I would do bleed or blight there. Sacrificial stab. Let's try to take out the Parasite. And then the Musketeer can take out the ecto.
Be gone, fiend.
Next, we're taking out the Parasite into the Callous Shriekling. Oh, I already got a disease out of that. So that's the Parasite gone. We might get another Parasite out of the Shriekling, but we'll see about that.
Master
41 crit there.
executed.
Alright, so it decays, and survey says nothing.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
That is my one gripe about the Shrieklings there, is I wish that little instance went a little bit faster. So I'm going to ignore that little guy, torch up, and then we're going to search this. More food, more gold. I'm going to ignore the blood now that I have the Vintner. I really do not need to bring more blood back. Oh, hey, Dule Tree. You can bleed. So that's going to be interesting. And we have a lot of plus damage received to put on you. So it's going to mark weak point. And then aimed shot. She didn't crit, but there's a huge chunk of your health. You can get rid of your protection, which then pluses damage received on you. So plus 40% damage received. And then Skewer. There's half of your health. I think you use... Oh no, that's Face the Gallows, not the, like, noose. Okay. You still have plus 40% damage received. So let's do Skewer again. 14 health left. Jugular shot for the bleed. And then aimed shot to take him out. that was the easiest Dule Tree ever. Alright,
Exsanguination be considered.
getting rid of the Laudanum for the money, at least. I don't think any of these trinkets are going to be worthwhile. The thing here is, at least the beast shackles, I think I can only have one of because of how Jello does their trinket style. So that might actually be worth taking. So we'll take that over the gold. I'm pretty sure, at least, I can only have one of each of the Ascetic's trinkets, which I like.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Because I can only have one Ascetic on a team. Because of, I think it's size 0 shenanigans, but I could be wrong there. Oof. Okay, so mark weak point, we're going to go with Callous Shriekling. That's a miss. Yeah. Okay. Piercing round. Just in case I don't take anything out here, but what we're going to do is buckshot. Because then when these guys go... I thought nothing came out of this coffin. So that shouldn't have been anything. Why didn't it go down? Okay, well, make me waste an action. Sure.
The horror.
Then take out Shriekling. No Parasite.
Give them no quarter.
And check last Coffin, which was nothing. Which is kind of rare. I'm gonna bring that up.
A faint hope blossoms.
Normally, at least one of those would have something in it. So... Faithful Bell, minus 35% stress if stress above 50, and plus 20 dodge if stress above 50. That's another rare one. I think we're gonna camp, just so I can get the scouting.
Circle in the dark. The battle may yet be won.
Feast for the stress, heal a little bit, take the crests, leave the rest. Then excellent hearing to prevent nighttime ambush and get minus party surprise chance, detailed map for the scouting. We can do target practice for the plus damage on range skills and plus accuracy on marked. And then we can do heightened reaction, I suppose, for the riposte. Or do I do clean muskets for the 2? I suppose I could do dark strength on Axolotl for the extra damage.
The match
But
is
we're not
a blazing
in the
star.
runes. Why were you mentioning stonework? Okay. Be weird like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bringing back my P1. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I can probably get rid of the torch for the money. Actually, should I do the deeds? Let's do the deeds instead. And going up. So, we're gonna mark the artillery. Just to make it easier to take out. Taking out the artillery, just so it doesn't blight us. Skewer on maggot so we don't get stunned. And just in case this coffin isn't, I guess it is nothing. I was thinking just in case it had something in it. It's just maggots left. Which we're gonna mark just because... Actually, if we bleed it and blight it, it goes down.
Another abomination cleansed from our land.
Taking what we can. Leaving the money, which hurts, but only got so much space, which I know is 3 things of food here, but I need that for the healing. I'm gonna leave this here, actually, just because it's so close to this node. After I do all of this, I might need more healing. Let's be smart about that. I'm marking the brawler just to take him down easier. Oof, that's a lot of damage, but brawler down.
Annihilate.
Or a lot of stress, rather. Let's mark the madman. Then taking him out.
Destroyed.
Marking the acolyte. Should have marked the brawler, but that's fine. Can you take the brawler out? I mean, between you and the
Obliterated.
occultist, no matter what, it would have went down.
Decimated.
And that's the fight. Taking what we can. Let's use some of this food just to be safe. And you know, I have a lot of money, and I still need to level up the trapper. So let's just leave this and bring back trinkets and like whatever heirlooms I can.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
I should have left this. I'm hurting for crests, but I feel like I should probably leave these for now, and we'll go up and around. Everyone can actually I guess I didn't do the thing I was thinking of. That's on the uncrowned. I'm gonna come back for this anyway. So we'll leave the burrow. We're gonna come back for this one anyway, so we'll leave that after the fight. But let's see here. Let's mark the Jittery Coffin just in case. There we go. Got one. Taking the coffin down.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
I doubt I need to mark the Parasite, but let's get rid of its dodge as a just in case again. Taking it down. Should have gotten rid of the Ecto.
Maintain the offensive.
Should have gotten rid of the Ecto.
The abyss returns even the boldest gaze.
Marking Coffin, which had something in it. Getting rid of Coffin.
Devastating blow.
Getting rid of Ecto 1.
The ground quakes.
Getting rid of Ecto 2. Taking what we can.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Helm of Horror, probably not going to use. You know, I never really noticed all the skeletons on top of that house. Do you think they can see it from the inside? So there's probably going to be a mini-boss in this hallway. Let's do it while we still have possibly some buff. And we'll come back to this, because we got to do a full loop anyway. There you are. Now, because he's Eldritch, I get all my buffs from Espec here, because I just don't get it versus human, which the Collector I learned that on. And Corsi does extra damage versus Eldritch. So let's mark him with Espec. Do I want to lower the dodge? Yeah, let's lower the dodge while we're at it too. Got some of the damage up, but not all of it. And then hop away. 51 damage there. That's beautiful. I would want to reconstitute after that too, buddy. Because he's in rank 4, all we can do is Grudge, which is plus crits received. Which he... Oh, you little prick. Not only resisted that, but then went, hey, I'm back in row 1, or 2. Then the Elder... plus damage versus Eldritch, and plus damage received. And then he's back where the Foreigner can't hit him. Plus crits received. Got the debuff. You absolute prick. Jugular shot. Bleed blight. 6 and 3. But then I can't hit him from here. So we're gonna embolden, so maybe we hit with the Foreigner before he goes. Skewer. Jugular shot again. 12 and 7. Alright, well, piercing round. And buckshot. And he goes down to Bleed and Blight.
Gnawing uncertainty.
So, Demon Pull.
Place of dread.
Get eaten by my demon. Ooh. Boiled Mimic Shell. Post plus 35% damage. Riposte plus 35% damage plus 100% duration. Now... That's right. That's why I wasn't impressed with it last time. But with the Mimic Shell, that could actually be decent, I suppose. So, Detect and Misdirect on Riposte plus 300% damage. So he's supposed to get 300% extra damage after the Riposte. So it's not the fact that his Riposte does a lot of damage, but... I mean, we'll still take it, because we gotta heal up after that. I'm just not really impressed with it, if I'm being totally honest. Alright, moving on along. We're not going to come back this way, so take the torch. Too bad we're leaving the bandage, but it is what it is. Nothing for the effigy. Moving on along. I was not expecting 2 bosses, but he can cure my diseases. Let's go for it. Now, unfortunately, they are all human, so Espec here is only going to be useful for marking. But let's mark row 1 for the... Actually, I should have done row 2 or 3, but... row 1 for Foreigner here. Because that amazing crit, they're down. Marking row 2 for the Musketeer. Pop.
A singular strike.
That's 2 down. Marking row 2 as a just in case. Depending upon who goes first. Axolotl got their riposte. We're gonna try to take out the Chirurgeon. No crit, but still got some good damage there. Mark weak point on the patient. So I am curious here. Could do 8 damage to the boss. 10 if I did piercing round. Or I just take him out. So rare that I find their corpse before I get something else. Mark weak point on patient, getting those debuffs. Bandaging the foreigner, and skewer. Now, unfortunately, they didn't get rid of any of my diseases, but here is where we can use the leeches for once to get rid of the tinnitus, which also gives us a bleed. I'm also going to get rid of all these bleeds because they are kind of bad, leaving us with a set of 1. You know what? We'll get rid of the deeds. Get rid of the bandage for the deeds there. Healing up a tad, and then we'll leave the rest. I got a ton of money right now, so I'm not hurting, especially considering I have a few people I can level up that get me a bunch of gold. I'm more interested in bringing other stuff home this run. Okay, so mark weak point, that's going to be the Fungal Scratcher. That way we can take them out pretty easy. Skewer on the Scratcher, they're down. I'm actually going to buckshot here to test these two, which doesn't seem like anything we're in. Okay, I got to send a note to Slime because that AoE method of testing used to work. It doesn't seem to be doing it anymore. Just gonna get rid of the corpse. And rid of the maggot. Bleeds and blights out. Or no, we didn't stab it. Okay.
Death by inches.
Sometimes singling out a maggot to stab could be difficult, I could see. Especially, other than the fact that those ones are big. But, you know, whatever. Alright, we have 4 shovels. So we might find something big in here. Torch is handy. We'll leave the rest. We get to use that torch right here. Gonna stress down on the foreigner. In we go. So marking the Scratcher. Taking Scratcher out. Taking the Ecto out. That way it doesn't, you know, do its thing. And then we're going to aim shot at the Parasite, because that thing does the most damage. And then we just have to figure out about the Coffin, which thankfully Axolotl was able to test. Taking what I can.
This expedition at least promises
Portraits,
success.
you say. So it's kind of adorable. The kitten is starting to really take after the other cats in the house, especially Bear. So I have to walk my cat to food and water because otherwise she won't eat or she won't drink. The kitten is starting to ask for that. Now he, thankfully, will eat and drink without me needing to be there. But he still asks for it, and it's adorable. So I wanted to take these beast shackles back just because I'm pretty sure I can only have one of them. But if it comes between me and getting more portraits, which I'm going to need for upgrading the hamlet, I'm going to take the portraits. And I immediately find crests, which I also need. I'm going to need the keys for these 2 treasure rooms at least. So I guess we leave the crests. Alright, dig through this. Oh, hey, a bunny.
Malformed.
I never saw the bunny. Bunnies. Is that something hunting the bunnies, or is that brush? Now I feel really bad about digging up their home. I'm just really closely looking at the background here. Okay, there's a tent that had its stuff dug up. Little voodoo dolls hanging. What else have I been missing here? Like, every time I take a look at these immersive backgrounds, there is so much here that I find something new. It's hilarious that how much is hidden in this. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna mark the fungal artillery so I can take it out easier. Then the musketeer can do that. I'm gonna test the coffin with axolotl. Shouldn't that have left a corpse? No, because I crit it. Okay. Sacrificial stab actually could take out the artillery.
A decisive pummeling.
And then shoot the birdie, who still might have a parasite in him. Yep. Parasite needs to go away. Shriekling left, so marking him. Blighting him, maybe? No. We only had like a 25% chance. And kerboom. Since I can't hit rank 1. Very easy. And survey says dead meat. Okay.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Just taking what I can, leaving the rest. What's in the box?
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to
I
the
told you
brave
he was
and the
sleeping there.
foolhardy alike.
So he's kind of taking over her window bed. She's trying to sleep up there. Can you cuddle with him? No? Okay. And she's very much not happy when he does that. But he's so small that she never knows when he's in the window bed. It's kind of hilarious. She can't see him from down here when she tries to jump up. Which I do have pictures on the I do have pictures on the post, the community tab. That's what it is. The community tab of my member page for anyone wanting to see the kitten. I just figured I wouldn't, since I have so many like Darkest Dungeon and other things, that I wouldn't flood the thing with like cat pictures, and there will be more cat pictures coming for that once he gets over his respiratory infection that most kittens get. Alright, the Fungal Stag is actually going to mark us and then do extra damage, so I think we have like an extra turn to deal with him, but let's still mark him. But then do some damage to the Jittering Coffins. Ooh, this one's got stuff in it. We can aim a shot, taking out the fungal stag or doing damage to it. And let's... that's right, it's carpentry and unholy. Let's mark this one. So they're all marked are going to be taken out of. What was that first thing that was supposed to happen? I feel like something got skipped there. Anyway, Jittery Coffin goes down.
Precision and power.
Fungal Stag.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
And then we stab the coffin. I feel like something buggy happened there, or something happened with the AI again. Which, full disclosure, does happen every once in a while. Let's heal Corsi there, then move on along. Torch up. In we go. Okay, so just backing out for a minute. When I said, it's right here. Okay, so if you didn't see this before, if you go back like 10 seconds or so now, this is a leaf. So when I was saying, oh, is that like a carnivore or something by the bunnies? That was a leaf. I kind of thought it might be, but I wasn't entirely sure. Okay, so there's no obstacles on the way to either of these room battles. And then I'm not sure about these last two, but I'm gonna use the shovel here. Wasn't really expecting much, but... Ooh, Twisted Grove again. Or Twisted Groove? I wanted to say it was the Grove, but that'd be 1-0, wouldn't it? So it's got a lot of protection. So that would be a thing for weakening curse after we've already marked it. Should also probably get rid of these Gnashers, but let's... I know it can heal. And I think it might be able to summon, if I remember right. I don't remember what Phantom Flowers does. So bleeding for 1. If I buckshot, I think I take it down. So let's aim for the rabid Gnashers. And if I do piercing round into buckshot, I think I take it out. Yeah, and then might take out a Gnasher. They really don't like S back there. There we go.
Powerful blow.
It almost looks like a animal head where I think a leaf was.
So too will resistance.
Yeah, see that there is a leaf. It was kind of in the background here, like right there. I thought, oh, maybe that was something else, but no, that's a leaf. Spiders, we haven't seen you guys in a while. The Bane of Apprentices, because of that. And then they have like some synergy versus marked, I think. But if I can bleed and blight them right off the bat, there's a spitter down. Which didn't happen. But buckshot. Hey, another ruby. And deeds. Okay, I'm not sure why the torches didn't stack there, but there we go. So I do need to come back, so I'll get that on the way back. And if I scout, we'll see what's here. I haven't seen one of these fountains here in a while. Okay, so marking the Shriekling because I'm going to buckshot here and see what's what. Yeah, we'll also mark the artillery for later. Taking Shriekling out as a just in case. We'll see if it has the Parasite or not. Does not look like it, so the buckshot will go through everything, piercing round. And we'll see what we hit. Oof. Okay. Well, better to know. So just them left. And take out Jittery, Coffin that we know we can take out. Marking this one, which we know has something in it. And then slicing it open. Buckshot takes it out. Taking what we can.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it
Gonna use our last firewood.
the light?
Feasting to the health and the stress. Excellent hearing. Don't feel like I actually need the scout, so we're going to clean musket. We're going to target practice for the accuracy and the damage versus is marked and all that jazz. I got 5 left. So if I do dark strength, that's more damage on axolotl. But then what can I do after that? I really don't feel like I need detailed maps because I'm not going to scout this last room. So all it would do is help me scout whatever's down there. Alright, well. Dark strength to plus damage. And then let's do rallying to get the stress down on Corsi. Alright.
The light, the promise of safety.
Pristine fountain. Stress down. Going to the left, because I'm not sure if there's any room battles in this. We'll come back for... Actually, I'm not even sure I can do anything to the bunnies. Yeah, I don't got anything that can interact with the bunnies, because burning them stresses us out. Which, certain situations, is actually good, but not here. Leaving them, 'cause realistically they're not going to give me anything I want. We'll leave the bandages. Anti-venom the tree. Taking what we can. Leave the money, torch up.
The way is lit.
Battle.
The path is clear.
Oh,
Require
haven't seen a
only the
nymph in a
strength
while.
to follow it.
So mark weak point, we're going at the Shriekling. Alright, so if we hit the Shriekling down, we can then stab the Nymph and shoot the Ecto, I think. And we should be good. Oh, we didn't get the Nymph. Thankfully it didn't call more. Well, we're still good. Just the maggot left. There we go. Another emerald, which never hurts to grab. And this might be the last room. Probably go to the actual last room if we're still looking good after this, which I'm guessing we will. But you never know. Marking the artillery. taking artillery out. There goes our Shriekling. Oh, we got a Parasite. It's odd when that happens. Alright, Parasite goes down, it does the most damage. Taking out the Maggot. It goes down. Bleed and Blight.
Great is the weapon that cuts
And
on its own.
just the Carpentry left, which had nothing in it. Holy Water. Didn't scout. So what I'm gonna do is use the torches,
May we
trade out the torches, continue adventuring. And that's that. 'Cause I'm not gonna stress everyone out and damage them.
The agents of pestilence will yet.
Alright, so got the Bloody Stake, got 9 more crests, and the reward of 7,500 gold on top of the nearly 7,500 we brought back, so that's just short of 15,000 gold. Few trinkets, and a lot of heirlooms. That was mainly an heirloom run after I kind of decided on what I wanted there. So, grand total of 21 crests, 18 deeds, 3 portraits, and 2 busts. Axolotl hit level 3, Silent hit level 3, Corsi is level 2. I'm not sure if he started at level 1 there, I can't remember. And Espec was level 1, I do remember that. Corsi got Necromania, so we're putting him in treatment. Enlightened on Silent, so that's kind of whatever, but we will be getting rid of the disease. Resolution, so we'll never drink, that's not a big deal to me. And Photomania, so minus 20% stress if torch above 75.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of
I
my
do not have Koban, unfortunately, so I cannot hire either of them. Not that it would be too much of a bonus. Don't really want any of them. So let's see here. Axolotl, don't really need to do anything. Corsi, Necromania, let's get rid of that. Espec, anything? We kind of do need to get rid of Faithless here, so let's do that while we can. Otherwise, I kind of want to get rid of Calm too, but we don't need to get rid of that. So let's get rid of Faithless. Silent, getting rid of Bad Humors. A ton of people to throw in stress treatment here. Gen can wait. So let's get these 3 so I can throw them in quicker. No interesting trinkets. And then realistically, there's nothing that looks too interesting trinket-wise, either on the bosses I have available or just in the areas that are available to me. So next time is probably just going to be a leveling run, and we'll see what we can do. And we'll go from there. I'm not sure which area I just want to decide on yet. Probably decide on the team I want to throw together and who all is in it. But we'll decide that next time. So that'll be it for this time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. And otherwise, as always, I wish you all well. I will see you next time. And please, have a good one.